Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here's the Queen of Pentacles. This is your future self. Right. This is you, let's say 1 year from now, looking back at all of the decisions that you're making right now in the present moment. Okay. Now, we need to take a look at that and let's see what are the decisions we're making right now and what is this future state, right? Who are we going to be down the road? What kind of person do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Once we get that picture, then we can work our way backwards and see what kind of things we need to do now in order to get there. We've got to have the goal in mind, right? But in a more holistic way, perhaps. Let's put it into some context. Let's see what we've got going on. 10 of Cups, yes. You want satisfaction. You want to feel like your efforts have led to a deeper meaning and richness in your life. You want to be satisfied with a job well done. What we know is that satisfaction isn't gained without some sort of struggle. We have two. There's the struggle. All right, that's the Art or Temperance card. Ooh, we got the Princess of Cups, one of my favorite cards. We've got the Hermit. We've got a Knight of Swords, Princess of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Very nice. I think a lot is going on in your life right now. I think that there are there's some career or business kind of concerns, but I feel like it's mostly about your relationships. I feel like a big part of this 10 of Cups for you is having satisfying relationships. Not just romantic stuff, right? Every kind of relationship, friendships, family relationships, see? We've got a 2 and a 2. It's all about you interacting with people kind of one-on-one. You know, do you have friends? What is the quality of your friends? Can you talk to your friends? Do you have a best friend, right? Do you have a confidant? Do you have someone with whom you can share your dreams and your aspirations, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and we are going to set it down right over here. We're going to put Kevin, aka Mr. Bates, right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and give us our confirmation at the end of the reading, okay? If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, go ahead and put a prediction down in the comments. Let's see if we do it together, if we exercise our intuition, let's see if we get better and better, right? Let's take a look around the room. We've got some majors here. We've got the Art card, the High Priestess, and the Hermit. I feel with these major arcana cards, especially with the Hermit and the High Priestess here, I feel like there's going to be a renewal of your spiritual practice. I feel that part of your 10 of Cups, right? And 10 of Cups is your absolute perfect dream life, right? Part of your dream life, I think, is to have a very active spiritual life, is to have a very solid connection with spirit, with guardian angels, spirit guides, God, goddess, deity, whatever you want to call it, okay? I feel as if you wish to be the priest or priestess of your own life. You know, I feel as if the Hermit energy is talking about a return to an internal, very personal, very private spiritual practice. Okay, getting back to I feel like you're kind of a solitary practitioner. Yeah. I feel like it's something very deep and very meaningful to you, and I feel like you want to reconnect with that or continue forging that connection with Spirit. Yeah. And I think that while we do that, we also want to have a very rich and very active social life. We've got a lot of court cards here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime I get a bunch of court cards like this, it makes me feel like there are other people in our lives that are important to us that we want to have a relationship with, right? And I feel like specifically now there is an area of concern with those relationships, that we are concerned with the quality of those relationships, right? The court cards also individually mean something specific, but all together as a group, it means there's a lot of people here, right? And it means that there is concern about these people. I think the twos here are kind of talking about us judging people, evaluating their place in our lives, right? So I feel like for the next year, let's say this Queen of Pentacles is really the kind of 1 year future self, yeah. I feel like part of your path for this next year is to simplify, minimize, right? Hermit energy. We feel that there's this desire in you to focus on your internal spiritual connections, your solitary kind of spiritual practice, while at the same time improving the quality of your relationships. Improving the quality of your relationships sometimes means getting rid of the non-quality ones, right? There's a focus here on quality, not quantity. And I think there's tough decisions there. I think that you have a lot of acquaintances, you know, but I feel like we want meaningful relationships of a very, kind of narrow window, right? I feel like you don't have a lot of time, you know. I feel like a lot of your time is going to be devoted to these internal practices, to these spiritual practices. Maybe you do meditation, maybe you do a lot of yoga, you do a lot of things by yourself, and you like it that way. You want to keep it that way. So we want to have quality relationships that can be very intense, very focused, but not take a lot of time away from what you're really trying to do here. I think your spiritual practice is very important to you. Okay? But so are the people, so are the quality relationships. The Two of Cups here. In the background here, I wonder if this is a romantic relationship, perhaps, that has just started recently. And you're going to be discovering how this fits into your bigger picture. Because you're not someone that really wants to make your relationship the sole focus of your life. You got other things you want to do. You know, you're in this state of energy right now where your relationship is important, but it's one aspect of a larger picture for you. A picture that is very much focused on your internal development, your spiritual practices. Yeah. So any of these relationships, we don't want any of them that, how do I put this, that feel like too much work. You know what I mean? We've got the Art or Temperance card up here. We want things to kind of run smoothly, and if this is going to cause too much friction, I don't need it. I have other things that I'm focused on. Now, I don't know with the Hermit if this is necessarily exactly like spiritual practices, but this is that solitary work that you're doing. This is what your focus is right now, is it's a solitary thing. Maybe you're working on a project or so. I don't know what it is. The point is that we don't want a lot of these relationships to require a lot of time from us. But at the same time, we do have this desire, this very fundamental driving force in life, in human nature, to connect with people. So if you recently got into a relationship, this is one where you need to maintain your independence. You need to have ample time alone. Okay? And I think because we have the 4 court cards that we have, and we have, there's just a lot of people in the reading today, right? These are people. We only have a couple cards that don't have any people on them. This is a lot of people, okay? So if we separate the people, right, it kind of looks like this. We have a lot of people, and we have you kind of deciding one by one how each of these people fit into your bigger picture. So I think you're kind of downsizing your friend group right now. You know, you're going through your friends list on Facebook and you're just saying, nope, delete, unfriend, maybe blocking a few of them. We're going for quality over quantity. It's like we're trying to kind of streamline or economize our life right now because there's something very purposeful that you're interested in. And I think it's a spiritual practice. I feel because of that, the high priestess there, it's something that's connecting you with the divine. It could be your creative drive, right? It could be some internal psychological work. It could be self-study. It could be just general, study. It could be that you like to be home alone doing what you do. Sometimes the hermit is just that. It's just a hermit. Sometimes there's no deeper meaning. Sometimes it's just, I want to be alone, right? Sometimes we just need time alone. And I feel like your future self, 1 year from now, your future self is going to be very pleased that you spent some time alone now, maybe discovering what's important to you, reconnecting with spirit, strengthening those very specific quality relationships, friendships, etc. When you have limited time, when you say, okay, I'm going to spend an hour a day on my friendship, that hour a day is going to be intense. You'd rather have a small window of intense relationship rather than all day and it's this kind of meh, it's kind of blah, right? You have that very specific kind of time frame and it's very intense connections there, right? So you want those really kind of intense and exciting relationships, but for brief periods of time. I'm also wondering if we're going to get an 8 of Wands as the mystery card. A lot of people, not a lot of time to engage with every single one of them, right? I feel like you have a lot of hobbies right now that you kind of want to explore on your own, but I feel like you are still looking for that, maybe that one quality relationship. Let's say it is that one very special friend, either that kind of best friend energy or that partner, romantic partner, spouse kind of energy. It's kind of like you've got time for one relationship and you want it to be a good one. You're really kind of, you're choosing here, And the 2 of Swords underneath it all, you're very discerning. You're looking at every aspect of your life, not just the people. The people, I think, is kind of just they're almost symbolic here, right? You're being very discerning. You're looking at all aspects of your life and you're cutting things away. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to waste my time with that. So for whatever reason, it feels like time is short for you. And maybe it's just like you're going into one of these natural phases, one of these natural hermit periods of your life, and it's just like lasts for a few months, where you just kind of, you strip your life down to the very bare minimum. You focus on those essential, important aspects in a very, very intense and concentrated way before the cycle's over, and then you're kind of back to, back to normal life, so to speak. But you're saying no to a lot of things. You're cutting a lot of things away, simplifying, downsizing, minimizing. And see, this card shows us that it's not an intellectual thing. It's not just the mind that, writes the pros and cons list about everybody, Like, oh, Paul over there, he's got some good qualities. He's got some pretty annoying qualities too. Do I want to spend any time with him? Right? It's not really like that. It's more of an intuitive thing. It's kind of just feeling things in the moment. And I think I think you have this part of you, this spiritual antenna, this kind of receptivity to the divine energy, that when you're doing something, anything, when you're talking to a person, you're engaged in some activity, in your gut or in your heart or in your spirit that this is taking precious time away from what you should be doing. Okay. It sounds harsh, right? It sounds harsh. We don't have any fire cards here, but what we do have is the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is really this kind of incubation period. And I think the Hermit it's really what we're doing. This is a period of incubation for you. This is a period of being very strict with what you feed yourself, right? Maybe not literally, right? But as far as energy goes, what we are consuming, stripping it down to just the bare minimum, but high quality. Right? High quality. It's like nutrient dense, but calorie light food, whatever they call it. The highest possible nutrients in the smallest kind of particle. And it really is that incubation period. And it's like you're very psychically open right now. And so you have to be very careful with what you let in. So you're only letting in those really quality forms of energy. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got. We don't have any fire energy. We've got the two majors. We do have a decent amount of water. 1, 2, 3 water cards. And I think part of this too is you've discovered a purpose. You have a particular aspiration now, and it's kind of like this is the only thing that you can think of. This is what you dream about at night now, right? This is a very intense focus for you. And to me, it feels like it's some kind of spiritual work, right? And that's kind of like what you live for right now. And that's why the Hermit is saying, I don't need anything else. I just need me and this thing that I'm doing. Right? You're kind of like the alchemist who spends night and day shut up in their laboratory doing their intense work. Doesn't have time for anything else, doesn't need anything else, just has to be me and my work, right? And that kind of is suggestive of the Two of Cups. Because this is finding that counterpart, finding that true love, and then wanting nothing else. This is that one true love, and it could be in the form of a person. And it might really be that you run the risk here of kind of falling in that kind of love with somebody and then not wanting anything else but that, right? So we have to be careful. We have to be careful because this is you're very psychically open right now. We need to be very cautious about where we're spending all of our energy. Our psychic, subtle, spiritual energy, the water energy, really, that's right here in the middle. We've got to be careful with what we're doing right now. And over here in the Knight of Swords, this is kind of like that person who says, hey, I need to spend some time alone, I need to regroup, I need to focus on me. Right? I need to focus on building up the quality things in my life and those quality relationships and all these things. And then people come knocking at the door, right? It's like you sit down to do your meditation, right? Or say your prayers. You sit down and you start doing. Someone knocks at the door. Never fails, every single time. It's like as soon as you sit down to watch a good movie, the phone rings. Or you've got to use the bathroom, right? Or you're hungry, you got to go get a snack. As soon as we sit down with an intention to do something specific, especially if it's something for us, something that's good for us, Spirit seems to like to send little tests. It's almost like a little jokes, right? I'm going to have someone come knock at the door, but it's going to be the wrong door, right? I'm going to have the phone ring, but it'll be the wrong number, right? And so we prepare for these kinds of distractions, and we have to be able to either block them out or say no to them, and focus on the task at hand. Okay. And again, I feel like there's a lot of internal work going on with you right now. And and maybe this is a year-long period, I don't know. But I feel like your future self is very thankful that we did this kind of almost a regrouping, almost an evaluation of our life. Because I feel as if you're getting ready to go into the kind of home stretch here for something. Like you're almost at a certain level of life that you really have been dreaming about, you know? And right now is the time that we've got to kind of go inward and evaluate things and focus on strengthening things inside before we go and strengthen things outside against. You know, we've got the earth energy over here. Now, I don't want to forget about the Princess of Cups, because that is, again, one of my favorite cards. This whole reading, this whole work that you're doing is about manifesting your dreams. The Ten of Cups is that picture-perfect dream life. But this is you realizing that those dreams are built kind of step by step. You know, your dream life wasn't built in a day, okay? So I think we fluctuate. Here's water, here's earth, water, earth, both princesses. I feel like we fluctuate between that inner work and that intense outward creativity, that outward focus, between introversion and extroversion. And that's what I'm seeing here. In order for us to really manifest the world that we want, sometimes we need a hermit period, right? Sometimes we need to be out there in the world facing our challenges externally, which part of the temperance card, right? Being out in the fire, yeah. Sometimes we need to focus on the fire within, and that's the hermit. Yeah. So I feel like you go through alternating periods of kind of outward focus and inward focus. I feel like we're moving into an inward focus, and maybe this is, this is taking place for several months or longer. I don't know what your cycles are like. But the High Priestess at the very end, though, this is us emerging with having gone through some intense awakenings. Okay, so I think that you're preparing yourself for something really, really big, and it's going to require an inner fortitude. It's going to require you to strengthen your strengths and raise up your weaknesses, focus on those quality relationships, get rid of everything that's not necessary to you. Because you're being called to a very, very big task in the future. I think you're meant for great things. I think that this is one of those, again, kind of an incubation period, right? You're strengthening yourself. Eventually you're going to emerge. And I feel like you're going to be transformed. It's kind of you're kind of going into the chrysalis right now. Yeah. And you will be emerging from this chrysalis rather transformed. And I feel like as you emerge back into the world, people are going to be like, "Whoa, what happened to Cancer over there? Like they're looking different." You know, there's going to be something noticeably different about you. And I think it really is a light that is being strengthened or rediscovered or stoked, a fire inside that's becoming brighter and brighter, right? I want to look at the mystery card. I want to see, I'm thinking that might be the Judgment card. It could be Judgment. It could be, it could be the Fool. Well, let's just see. If you have a prediction, I want you to put it down in the comments. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh, goodness, look at that. The Empress. Well, this, I think, is that emerging from the chrysalis as this Empress, as this butterfly, right? Because what we see here, especially with the princesses, right? We see the kind of the younger stages of the life cycle, right? And with the hermit kind of going into ourselves to process all of our energies, to process, to reconnect with things, to streamline, to economize our life, to do this internal spiritual work so that you can emerge as the empress of your own life. And this is really like living in that utopia. This is now taking what is the Ten of Cups. It's the potential dream life, right? This is the ideal. Just like the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, ideal life. Right? This is the standard. This is what we've got set up on our wall. This is what we want to achieve. Okay? This is kind of what and why we're doing things. And yeah, we're going to go into our cocoon and we're going to consolidate all of our experience, solidify things inside, light that fire up, get things moving around, and do that inner work. And then I feel like this is the Ten of Cups, but now in practical reality. Now we're living that life. Okay? Now we're empress status, right? In our reality. In our paradise. This is our land of milk and honey. So I feel like this is a necessary withdrawing from the world. You're working on something internally. Maybe you're putting together all of these plans or so. I don't know what you're doing. But eventually you will emerge from this period into your best life. Like this is a very necessary phase of things. So I wonder if a year from now, your future self is going to be that empress. But you've got to do this internal work now. You've got to cut out everything from your life that's wasting your time. Focus on your ideals. Focus on your goals. Focus on that life that you want to have. And do this inner work. Do what needs to be done. And it might be an intense 12 months of hard work, solitary, kind of sequestered from the world a little bit. But it's going to be worth it because you will emerge as that empress. And everyone's going to be like, whoa, like what happened to Cancer? Never seen you like this before. Like something, where have you been the last year? Like it's going to be a very marked difference in your energy, in your aura, in your physical being. Yeah, a real transformation. It's pretty good. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.